Ladies and gentlemen, I am back, and finally we can start making the Civilization 5 Vox Populi tier list. Anyway, in other words, like and subscribe. I don't know, comment if you want to. But anyways, let's not filibuster stuff. Let's just get started already. All right, first up we got America. Military units. Military land units start with the Century promotion, which is the plus one size for the units. Title purchasing cost is reduced by 25% and is reset upon founding a city. 20% for purchasing a tile, 20 production plus 20 production for purchasing tiles. Skilling era can purchase tile owned by others. Now, the Century promotion is somewhat useful, especially in the early game. Especially with your. If I can remember correctly, where's the units list? Especially when it comes to your Pathfinder, which is a recon unit, and then the Century right here affects all. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Wait, hold up. Is it really? I think it also affects the Pathfinder too, if I remember correctly. Unless they updated or some shit, but I could very much be wrong since I haven't played America in like quite a while. So, but anyhow. Our purchasing cost is reduced by 20%. Now, that could either be game changer or just straight up useless in my own experiences. Anyhow, and can purchase tiles owned by others. Well, maybe I feel as if this is irrelevant. Like to me, this piece of bonus right here is kind of irrelevant, since I've played VP for probably 1,000 hours, and I've never been able to use that ability before. Like pretty much never. So I can't say what it I cannot really say on whether it's good or not. But like, I don't know. But anyway, the Minutemen on the other hand is, it's honestly just whatever. I mean, North terrain movement costs, okay. Generating golden age points, all right. Yeah, I remember that. Barrage 1, okay, if I remember correctly. You get Barrage 2 pretty. Yeah, you already start with this. So. Yeah, so that alone can be great. You know, Barrage 2 already. Going from victory. I mean, if you're just killing people. Well, if you're killing, conquering people, maybe. Like that could be a lot. Especially on normal speed. But like with that, you essentially have to go out of your way to kill a bunch of units. Then maybe like shoot them. Yeah, from defeat enemies. Okay, so now you need cities. So you essentially have to just kill enemies, which presupposes the fact that you're essentially conquering a whole bunch of people. Since where the fucking, well, maybe you kill like barbarians, but I'm sure that will not come. I wholeheartedly doubt that will give you enough golden age points to make it worth it though. Like this can be decent, but like, what am I supposed to do with it? Now the terrain movement on the other hand, that is useful. I will say that is useful, especially when you're combining with the amphibious or the woodsman promotion. That could be extremely useful, especially when it comes to like difficult terrain where most units would just stay there, like move one hill another, or move one hill to another, and then just end your turn right there. Whereas the Minuteman, I wouldn't say he's a strong unit, but they can at least like take pot shots and then just fuck out right after. Assuming the fact that your enemies are too stupid or in an inconvenient environment where it can touch your Minutemen at all. So I guess that could be useful. Now, with the Independence Hall, Royal Collection. Unhappy for more cities. Plus 5 culture cost for adopting new policies, which if I remember correctly, where's the wonders here? With the Eiffel Tower, culture cost of adopting new policies reduced by 10%. With the Independence Hall, if you stack it over the Eiffel Tower, you get 50%, which is somewhat of a game changer, I will say. Especially when you're, I don't know, if you go for authority, then like VLC or some shit, you most likely did not invest at all when it comes to culture. So I'm assuming that'll mostly be a game changer, since I've never used that strategy before. Yeah, I've never used a strategy, but now, with that being said, the Independence Hall is just a precursor to these 3 buildings. One being the Slater Mill. It will cost acquiring new tiles reduced by 25%, making it that ability into right here. Purchasing cost is reduced by 25%. Now reduces further by 50%. Fire protection and gold to all factories and stock exchanges. Useful, extremely useful. Factories and stock exchange you're always going to build those, whether immediately or sometime after. Regardless, though, these two are important buildings to build and stuff. So wonderful, all around. +2 production and gold to all wonders. Okay, that's whatever in my opinion. Free factory, nice. 10% gold output in all cities as production, absolutely beautiful in my opinion. Grants 1 additional trade route, and all trade routes complete the route 25% faster. Well, the additional trade route is useful, just not the latter part of this. But anyway, let's get to the other ones. The West Point. This is pretty much, well, I'll just say this is the same. Plus 5 production and science to all military and arsenals. +2% in science to all wonders. Okay. Now I think about it. The academies and the arsenals are pretty useful. Well, the arsenals less so, but you're definitely gonna build a military academy at some point in the game, regardless if you're conquering the world or if you're getting a war victory. You should probably build a military academy regardless of the fact. Free mill academy in the city, nice. As science return, 10% of gold output. All siege units and naval range units receive the splash damage promotion. This is beautiful. That splash damage is beautiful. I'll just say that. It's so beautiful. It's so useful, especially when you're trying to break through a part of a front line. Like say, I don't know, like a citadel with like a rifleman cover 2. Okay? And splash damage, it's so useful, especially if there's a bunch of units behind those units that you're hitting, which just makes it. Yeah, look. You have not lived until you see like the entire front line get damaged all at once, where like 4 units get absolutely demolished, like 20 down, 20 HP gone immediately by one shot. By one siege unit or naval range unit. Matter of fact, like that counts for battleships. Ooh, my God, that is damn okay. That's fucking powerful. Finally, last, but I guess I guess the last place here. +5 science and culture to all museums and research labs. Okay, the research lab is pretty nice, but I wouldn't say it's useful on museums. Like, unless you're going for a culture victory, I don't feel as though you don't need the museums. I see very few cases where you need a museum at all. Like, give or take, like the cost of maintaining it. I don't know. I just don't see it as being the 5 science and culture on the museums being useful, in my opinion. +2 science and culture world wonders. That's to be expected. Free museum. Really? I don't think it's useful. I personally don't think it's useful at all. 10% of gold created by all cities in the empire count as culture. Wonderful. This is better. This is better. Okay? This is better. I love this shit. Okay, hold on. If we start comparing the stuff here. Oh yeah, hold up. Recorrection to all cities is pretty much. Yeah. All these three wonders pretty much include all cities for the gold output. So, yeah, miscorrect right there. But anyhow, +5 science on all landmarks and +1 to all great works on Empire, in the Empire. If you're focusing on the artists, writers, musicians, that could stack up to quite a lot of science. Like, if it's just hard culture all the way, that could be a lot of science. Oh, excuse me, but I feel so. It's, how should I put this? It feels so opportunity cost. Like it pretty much it'll be great, but like it'll just cost a whole lot. In which case, like you'll probably like invest less and get more out of something similar to that note with, I don't know, anything else. But it's still a good wonder. It's just it's not as good as West Point or Slater Mill in my opinion. So, but anyhow, dang, I'm tired. But anyhow, so speaking, in my personal opinion, they're probably high B. Yeah, probably high B. I'm feeling high B more than low A in my opinion, but maybe it'll change by the end. All right, next up we got rape. When you complete a historic event, your capital gains 1+1 science and culture, and 50% towards the progress of a random gray person. Now, the historic event can, depending on, like, I don't know, perhaps your luck, it can probably be, there's one in like 20 turns, or essentially like whether you want golden age points or temporary happiness. That's one, that's one science and culture, and there's associating like a bunch of hurricane, if I remember correctly, hurricane events, then volcanic eruptions, which I think they also count as historic events. But anyhow, like, if it does happen, you all make that science and culture. It could be that is extremely useful in the early game, but like in the late game, it's something, but it's not game changing, you know? It's like something, if you get it early game, you essentially, you're rolling the snowball down a hill, you're gonna crash into the lodge with perfection, okay? That's how I feel. Like, late game, it's like, whatever. You're not gonna miss it. You're not gonna really care at all. And 50% progress towards a random gray person, well, it could be great if you get a progress on a great engineer or a great scientist, but if you have like progress towards like a great writer, an artist, yeah, and it just feels so fucking useless. Like, genuinely, that feels, it can be decent, but at the same time, it can also just be a whole lot of fuck all. Whole lot of nothing. Whole lot of air. Dead air. And in the middle of the Sahara. Now, the Bazaar, land trade has gained 50% range, incoming trade routes and getting generated +1 gold for the city. Okay. Interest in markets bonuses. Bazaar generates science and faith. It boosts land trade route range. And enables or strengthen historic events on trade route completion. Okay. You could probably stack this with the fealties policy of whenever you complete a trade route, you also gain an historic event, if I remember correctly. So yeah, that could also help if you're just going full on fealty. If you just go full down in the fealty policy tree. So yeah, that could be useful. But like land trade routes, like, this is unfortunate. This is so unfortunate. If it was land trade route range and sea trade route range, this would have been a lot more useful. But like, since you get more food from the sea trade routes, and also, if I remember correctly, you also get more production from the sea trade routes as well, if I remember correctly. So like, I mean, it's something, but like, you know, I do like the +2 science, +2 faith. I'm not saying this is like dog shit, but like, I mean, it's whatever. Okay, decent building. Then we got the Camel Archer. Fuck. The Arabian heavy skirmisher design requiring horses. Nice. You're not as relying on your environment as the Huns per se, which we'll get to them later. Then withdraw from melee combat once per turn. Start the splash damage. Now the splash damage is a difference. It is a difference, especially when your enemy has like a bunch of pikemen, like close together as like a big mob army. So essentially, you just splash damage, sends it like an archery unit. So I'm assuming, but if I remember, I haven't played Arabian like quite a while, but if I remember correctly, you can also move right after. Yeah, can move after attacking. Yeah, so you essentially just move forward, shoot them, splash damage. It'll probably deal with like a pikeman. Probably a pikeman like 15, 12 or so damage, and then like the rest of the units that are standing besides it will also get damaged, I think, to a lesser extent. Then you just retreat into like the Arabian Desert or like the Sahara or some shit. And great unit though, I will say. This Unquiet Horses, it's an absolute beauty. It's absolute beauty. Especially when you get to the other civilizations later. Yeah, great early game abilities, or the unique abilities, I should say. Decent building, and then like a wonderful unit that doesn't require any horses, can withdraw from melee combat once per turn and start to splash damage, and also can move after attacking as well, which is beautiful. I love that unit so much. All right, so with all to be said, mid A tier. Yeah, I'm confident in that ranking. I'm probably not gonna move it as much as probably Washington or some shit. So But anyhow, let's move on. Alright, next up we got Syria Ashurbanipal. When you conquer a city, gain technology or nobody, or if possible, 20 science scaling era in the city's population. Now, if I remember correctly, this is random too. So, if I remember correctly, when you conquer a city, gain tech already known by its owner, or preferably, I'd rather get these just the free science. The free science to me is always better than just getting free tech. And this can be 50-50. And it's either great, you get that certain tech, or it's fucking terrible, you get that certain tech too. Now, all great works produce free science. Well, I won't say it's great, although probably with the Royal Library, which we'll move on to. 20 science during golden ages, plus 1 science for every 2 citizens in the city, and the library produces 3 science. It comes with both the free great works of writing and a free library in the city. Every great writer, work of writing control grants plus 5 XP to all created units, maximum of 45. So that's automatically, 2 promotions in my opinion. I think so. Which means you can probably mostly get Draw 1 and Draw 2, which means you can probably get cover probably soon after if you're probably going to war, or Dock 1, Shock 2, which could also lead to Woodsman and Amphibious. So that could be nice. Okay, and then it contains 3 slots for great works of writing, plus production for science, or plus for production and science if themed. Which, okay. I mean, first and foremost, you can. It presupposes the fact that you essentially go full on writing. You know, go immediately for the Tech Prep Writing Guild, the amphitheaters. Well, you don't need the amphitheaters. You probably need the writing guilds, which you have to at least have two pops in order to work in that writing guild, and then hopefully like 20 or so turns, you get a free a great writer. Which, when you consume it, you pretty much have to fill this library up. Which it will be great. It will be great. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know. I'm a bit iffy with the Royal Library. It's just that to me, it almost feels as though it wants to with the unique abilities right here, essentially encourages you to conquer, right? But then with the Royal Library, it's oops. And then the Royal Library, it's essentially you have to go full in on getting great writers, you know? I don't know, I view it as this is a conquering ability, and this is a cultural ability. You know, the more great writers you get, the more XP you get. I get it, but that 45 XP presupposes the fact that you're focusing on that great writers. Either you're creating the writers yourselves, or you're just conquering other civilizations' writers, then getting their great works to fill the Royal Library, which I guess it could work, but yeah, I suppose it's mediocre to me. Yeah, it's a pretty mediocre Astro Wonder. Yeah, replaces the school of philosophy, so yeah, I should expect it. Now, with the siege tower, you can see support unit. Nearby own units gain plus 40% combat strength for the city since units are adjacent to an enemy city, or 20% of this unit's 2 tiles from an enemy city. Medic 1, Medic 2 starts with that. And you only have 2 siege towers. Yeah, it's a bit iffy. This limits the potential. Yeah, now I remember it. This cannot attack or defend itself, so protect at all costs. I wouldn't say it's dog shit, but a couple of minutes siege reaches the target by getting killed, the siege will fall much more quickly. Does not obsolete, you cannot have more than 2 siege towers. The cannot attack or defend itself isn't that bad if I could build more than 2 siege towers, you know? But since it's a hard limit on the siege towers thing, yippee, wow, what an improvement. What a fucking improvement. Especially when you consider the fact that, don't get me wrong, the idea that you can just pretty much speedrun Conquer a City is nice, especially in the early game. To me, it's nah, it has Medic 2, it has both Medic 1 and Medic 2, which is, it's not gonna die immediately. Of course not, but with my experience, somehow the AI always targets the siege tower. I don't know what's my luck. I don't know what's your luck, but from my experience, the AI always prioritizes the siege tower. You know, any other unit, like an archer, spearman, what have you. Okay, it always just wants to kill these units for a good reason, but it also like further makes me a whole lot more. It's great. Like, it's great, like, when everything's going your way. When, like, shit goes south, it's fucking useless. Like, it's fucking useless, especially when you're losing a war. Or, like, you're getting pushed back by your enemy and shit. That always happens, especially when you're playing higher difficulties. That you're just gonna have to leave this unit behind. It's like, yeah, sure, that's forward movement. But again, it seems to me like DA always seems to, from my experience, targets a siege tower. That could be just a me thing, but it just seems to be the case. We got a decent unique ability. We got a mediocre national wonder unique national wonder building or library. The siege tower is like, it's fucking 50-50. It's either it's gonna fucking save your ass or it's gonna fucking be your ass. It's gonna be the end. Like, to me, it's like you cannot defend attack or defend itself. Two siege towers only active. Like that's a deal breaker. To me, that is the deal breaker, since if you get 2 of these units, that creates plus 80% combat strength versus cities. Now, granted, they're not gonna die easily, but since I'm at 2, like I said before, but like if the AI focuses its sights on the siege tower, it's gonna die pretty quickly. So, yeah. And with all that being said, yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with that pick. So, moving on. All right, next up, we got Maria Teresa. Plus 50% rewards from quests, may arrange marriages to allied city states with gold. While a piece, marriage seats gain 75% resting influence. Nice. Scaling the era, plus 50% GP generation in the capital. Now, with the 50% rewards from quests, that could be extremely useful, especially when you get science or culture, in my opinion. Culture is more important than science. But arranging marriages without city states with gold. I mean, to be fair, the great person generation in the capital is it will always be nice, in my opinion. The single percent resting influence is just over the. What was it? Over the 60 minimum influence required for the city to be your ally. Which means you get, all the benefits of having the CDC being your ally specifically, especially when they're married. So, well, with the gold, you can be gold dry sometimes. So that could be a limit, but I think for the most part, this is quite a decent. I think personally speaking, this is a decent unique ability. With the coffee house. Plus 1 food for every 5 citizens in the city, plus 30% great people's generation in the city, plus 15% of food is carried over at their new citizens born, plus 10% of the city's culture is converted into science every turn. What's it? Yeah, yeah. Like this is straightforward. Straightforwardly, pretty good house. Pretty good coffee house. It's a replacement for the aqueduct, which I'm assuming. Cut that out. It replaced the grocery here. So yeah, it's solid building. And then here we have the Hussar. Unique. So the scouting and flanking. Okay, it can move faster in North Zone control, which can be useful at times. Especially when you're flanking like a wounded unit that's probably retreating. You can pretty much just catch up to them, move their size so that they can't move around, and then you essentially just kill them right after. Yeah, it's great at picking off weak wounded enemies, I will say. And it's especially the case if you're like if you have 2 of these Hussars. So therefore, not just 2, it's most likely just 3 Hussars that you can just fucking you can essentially just harass the enemy and stuff. Especially, and it's especially the case if you have charge 1 and charge 2, which, remind you, it doubles the damage for wounded units, especially in the open, of course. But most importantly, it increases the damage when attacking wounded units too. So if you stack up theoretically, if you got barracks and armory and then a mill academy, and then. If you get Branded Brigade, you can pretty much get charged automatically. Now, granted, that's in the case of if you're just going hard mill or Pretty much, if you're just trying to snipe random brigade so no one else gets it, this could be useful for the Hussar at least. So, good unit, good solid building, and like a decent. What did I say? Good solid. I think I said decent unique ability. So, with that being said, we'll put Austria at higher B, above America and Syria. So, yeah, moving on. Next up, we got Montezuma the Aztecs, sacrificial captives, killing enemy units to grant 150% of their strength as gold and faith. Now that is wonderful, especially if you're just going into war, just killing the enemy's units, like, I don't know, killing all the civilization units and stuff, their military units, their recon, scouts, archeries, you name it. And this is especially useful when it comes to killing barbs. When you win a war score plus 25, a golden age begins. Absolutely wonderful, especially when you conquer an entire civilization, which is very much possible. They're, especially when you have enraging barbarians in the settings turned on, this could especially be useful since you're stacking bonuses, you're stacking a whole lot of XP onto multiple units. Which, speaking of, the Jaguar. Now the Jaguar is an excellent barb killing unit, and it can be useful. It can be a useful unit for conquering civilizations. You just have to do it real early into the game. No, Forest Warfare covers XP when kill an enemy unit, which, if I remember correctly, it's 50%. So if we go right here, this is 25. But if we stack with the one of the policies in the authority, it pretty much makes it to 50%. You can pretty much gamble with your Jaguars whenever you feel like it sense. For the most part, if you do kill a unit, you pretty much get half your health back. Essentially combining with authority, then with tenacity that the Jaguars have. And also coming with the woodsmen too. Plus 7% strength in rough terrain, north terrain costs in forest and jungle, which you're often gonna spawn in as the Aztecs. That's how I usually end up. And here is plus 25% combat strength versus barbarians. Plus, if you add the further combat bonuses, which, if I remember correctly, is 25 to 30% or more. Let's say it's over 55% combat strength versus barbs, which it makes it extremely easy to just straight up kill all the barbarians in your local area. Okay, you're just gonna cleanse all the barbarians off of this earth, and then you're just gonna colonize them. Okay. That's how easy it is. That's how easy it is for you to deal with the barbarians, from my experience. Great unit, by the way. Now, with the floating gardens. Plus 1 food and production for every 4 citizens. Always remember, the waterman can only give plus 2 food and plus 1 production for every 4 citizens in the city. So it's automatically better. And then with plus 10% food during golden ages, plus 2 food from lakes, and plus 1 food from rivers, which you almost like spawn. Your capital will most likely spawn on a river or nearby a river, and most likely, as the Aztec, you'll mostly have at least 1 lake nearby your empire. So you can probably it's in your capital range, or you can probably settle it within with a settler or 2. So what that means is you can pretty much guarantee that you're gonna have a whole lot of food in your empire. It may sound counterproductive considering the fact that you are a war civ. You know, like there's no doubt about it. You are a war civ. You might be killing barbs like turn 10, but in like turn 30 you're gonna be conquering. All right. You're just going to be conquering. If I remember correctly, the Jaguars is pretty cheap to produce, especially since the fact that it's supposed to be a warrior unit, so it's going to be for the most part pretty cheap to build and stuff. Like you can pretty much just spend that out no tomorrow. Like it's pretty easy to spend those units out. But anyways, great building. Fantastic unit, wonderful unit, and then amazing, beautiful, absolutely masterpiece levels of unique abilities. So yeah, anyhow, S tier automatically, no ifs, ands, or buts, absolutely phenomenal, especially in the early game, of course. All right, here we are, Bismarck, Germany. Blood and Iron, +2 science in the capital per city-state friend, and additional +2 culture per ally. With a city-state, of course. Scaling 0. Gain +1 influence per turn with city-states for each gifted unit. It's lost when killed. Or, if I remember correctly, if the city-state upgrades the unit, you also lose it too. I'm pretty sure with the recent updates they did, I'm pretty sure they fixed it, but I could be wrong. So, +2 science on capital per city-state friend. That will usually be the case for most of the time. Now, like, you get the +2 culture per ally, which you mostly get like 2 allies, 2 city-state allies if you're just casually trying to get them. It shouldn't be too hard, unless like I don't know, like the city just tells you to find if the city tells you to find a natural wonder you already found on your continent, they're not gonna find it until like the Industrial or the Renaissance. I guess that could be the case, but like for the most part, those quests are fairly easy, from my experience. And then the +1 influence it can be good. It would just if you have a whole lot of production, just spamming a whole lot of units, a whole lot of archers or something. Then most likely the case, it could be good, but like I said, you could lose it pretty much when the unit is killed or upgraded, if I remember correctly. This part of the UA, fairly whatever, and then this part of the UA is pretty good. Next up, we got the Huns, +5% production for each trade around your city-state or your civilization has with a city-state. Dang, I'm just stuttering today. Jeez. +10% of the city's gold output is contributed to science every turn. Nice. These are wonderful bonuses in my opinion. Then here, Hanzo produces more gold, culture, boosts international trade even more, generates science based on the city's gold yield, and provides a production bonus depending on the number of your trade routes connected to city-state. So, it's just wonderful. If you have all your trade routes in your capital, especially if it's on the coast, okay, you essentially just stack up all your trades into your capital, and then send them out across the map. Especially if you discover all the city-states, so you send them out. Probably if you got the Petra and then like the Colossus, which gives +2 trade routes, that's like 40, 50 +50 production. No. Well, I'm getting it wrong. No, that's like mostly +60 or +70 production percent. So that's literally wonderful. It is a game changer. It is an absolute game changer if you manage to micromanage it to the point where you're able to just have all the trade routes in one city or so. So, like, you could be a production powerhouse essentially, even without like a manufactory from like a grand engineer or so. This can make up all of that. I'm telling you. Now, granted, you could also get like your trade routes pillaged by Barb or like a Sith, but like that's kind of like on your fault if you're not protecting it. So that's a skill issue on the player. So wonderful building, and then we have the Langschnacht. Or the Langschnacht. I'm getting it wrong. Unique German terrorists, such as mercenaries, having no experience penalty or cooldown while being able to move immediately when purchased. Well, I guess it's whatever. Has a combat strength bonus against enemies that are full health. Okay. Starts with formation 2, which it's supposed to. Yeah, I got some mounting units and open terrain, whatever. So that's kind of a whatever like promotion stuff. So, but the combat strength boost can be useful. Especially when you're attacking like a unit that's like, especially when you're attacking like a range unit in like a citadel or something. Like combine this with like a siege unit or an archer unit or range unit, what have you not. Then you can pretty much break through the citadels and just pillage them. Like this double Stolner. With this double Stolner, you essentially just go through. You're able to go through the citadel and just kill the unit outright, and then hopefully, if your unit does not die, you can pillage it, which is a game changer in some certain circumstances. It's just whatever. So whatever unit, wonderful building, and like a semi-decent UA. And so, without further ado, middle B. You're above America and Assyria, but you're depends. I might move this. I'll keep it right there for now. Yeah, I might move you later. I'll just keep it right there, like, for the time being, I guess. Alright, Nebuchadnezzar. Hopefully I got that right. Hope Nebuchadnezzar II to Babylon. Ingenuity. Receive a free great scientist when you discover writing. Automatically based as fuck, okay? And great scientists are 50% faster than normal. Wonderful. We just move the other half of this building and just keep this. It's so wonderful. It's so wonderful. It's straightforward and it's wonderful. Investing in gold in buildings reduces the production cost by an initial 50%, which, okay, I mean, it's something. It's not nothing, but it's not a whole lot. I'll just say, this half of the ability is carrying it. Okay, that's my opinion. Now we got the walls of Babylon, plus 5% military supply from the population, plus 1 city strike range. Sorry. Great science produces 5% more science when used to discover new technology. This stuff that's associated with the wall on average. So, I forgot to mention. This also gives great scientist points too. So, overall, a wonderful building. Like, especially since this is a wall, which in most cases you're not gonna build, unless you're trying to maximize the empire size modifier, which in some cases you're probably gonna have to, especially when you're like when your empire is unhappy overall. So yeah. Now with the Bowman, it's kind of whatever. You know, it's defensively stronger. Okay, well, to be on the front lines, can swing a shred through winning human units, which is something. You know, but like, how should I put this? It's like, it's whatever. You know, it's just slightly stronger, okay? I mean, yeah, I gotta say, whatever unit. Just a whatever unit. And it's like, yeah, like, it's not terrible, it's not bad, it's just, woohoo, who cares? So with all that, we got our whatever unit, we got just overall great building for what it is. And then like we got the ingenuity ability, which is fantastic. Like the first half is carrying the other half. So with all that being said, Babylon is automatically S tier. Now, this is kind of like my preference, but I prefer to play the Aztecs and more so within the Babylonians, because to me the Babylons are just straightforwardly overpowered. That's my position. Like if someone in the comments says like Babylon should be first place, I'll be like yeah I agree, but like in my opinion I do think that the Aztecs can be stronger when it comes to wealth, especially when it comes to when it's being helped out by the floating garden specifically. So, but yeah, like we could probably change this around a bit. So, yeah, S tier. All right, next up we got Pedro II, Brazil. Carnival. We love the king. It becomes Carnival, adding plus minus 50% unhappiness from needs. When a golden age begins, 30% of the golden age points converts to gold in tourism. Okay. And so it's pretty much official. Like with this, with Brazil, you're essentially just going through hard culture, hard tourism, which it does very well. I will say, like the games I've played with Brazil, it's essentially if you manage to how should I put this? If you do manage to maximize and realize your potential, you can pretty much just win the game. Win the game long before ideologies, long before like the modern age. You can pretty much just, I don't know. You can pretty much influence every single civilization in the entire game, in the entire map, I should say. So, but in times where you're unable to, it's like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Because clearly, all this ability tells like you need to go full culture, you need to go full tourism. So it's either this is amazing or this is fucking terrible. That's my position. Now, to further add to that, we got the Brazil wood camps, which gives you another luxury resource, i.e., the Brazil would. Right here, +2 culture from race start, which is nice. It adds the culture that you're probably gonna speed run through like some more policies than others. Like this is good, but like, how should I put this? This can be just a filler improvement in my opinion. Especially, well, I don't think it can be since you can't just play this shit anywhere. It has to be on jungle and forest side, so it can't be that. So just. Well, it can't even be built adjacent to another Brazil camp. So it's just no. I'm not feeling about this camp, man. I'm not feeling about this improvement at all. Like, if you focus hard on culture, then this can be a good improvement. But like, to me, it's like depending on the lane you get, it's like whatever. Yeah, like 6 culture is not gonna change the whole fucking game. Like, well. We're talking about it. This is in calendar, and hopefully, most games you spawn with jungle with forest tiles. So in which case you can probably place this down. Which, in the best case scenario, this can be great. Like I know I play Brazil. This can be a great improvement. It's just that, well, it will only be useful in the early game. That's all I got. It's great early. It's like whatever in the late. So yeah, and then we have the recon unit or the recon replacement, specifically for the commando. I mean whatever. The Banderante is faster, generates gold science and culture from explore unrevealed tiles. Okay, that can be great. I mean, especially if you haven't, I don't know, explored the map yet until you get, what, compass? Whatever. These adds in nearby owned cities also has the ability to construct mines, quarries, forts, and Brazil can like faster than workers. Okay, that makes it extra useful since, well, I won't say useful since by the time you get these banderantes out, you're pretty much just. You mostly have a shit ton of workers already out, either by stealing a bunch from the city-states or by conquering it, or stealing them for another civilization or some shit. What? Slightly faster? It's like, okay, like one turn? Well, there's no difference. There's like these are just good for exploring. These are just good. Just good for exploring. Just send them out and auto-explore. Go find yourself like a barb cam or something just to kill by them, whatever. I like his last line. Use these units to explore and generate valuable yields for your frontiers. Like, okay. Yeah, sure. Like, just go explore, auto-explore. Like, spam out 3 of these banderantes, whatever the fuck, and then just go out in the wild. Hopefully you come back alive with 1 arm less. So, whatever. Like, whatever unit. Decent improvement. And then, like, 50-50 ability is either gonna carry your ass to a hard-won culture victor, or it's gonna just be a fucking liability. So all that being said, replacing Brazil, controversially, C tier. No ifs, ands, or buts. You're better in Syria, but other than that, you're fucking inferior. Next, moving on. Next up, the order of Byzantium. Patriarch of Constantinople can always found a religion. Nice, by the way. So you want to believe in founding. Even better, it makes it like beliefs and present in other religions whole lot better. My 50% faith production cost. It may produce unlocked great people starting in the classical era. Wonderful. Like I see no problems with this. This is an absolute wonderful ability. Like you can always focus on something else first and like get a religion later. Like perhaps like you're getting warred on by like I don't know, like Arabia or Aztecs or hell maybe even the Huns or some shit in the early game. That like you can focus on the war, then get the religion later, which that could be the case. And then we'll see additional belief. That's even better. So like you can get like the Aurora add-on, or like because here's like a conundrum. Okay, you spawn in tundra, you get deer in tundra. Or like deer, fur, then like you spawn in like a general tundra area. Okay, it's either you get the Camps Pantheon or the Tundra Pantheon. Which case, with this additional belief, you can get both. which is straight up, it's a godsend essentially. It's a beautiful godsend that you can just amass a shit ton of faith early game, like automatically 100 faith by like turn like 100 or something. Like that's how good that additional belief can be. Now, it can either be that or it could, I don't know. It'll never be bad. It'll just be like, at worst, it'll just be, it's better than nothing. And then with immense like beliefs in present and other religions, that can also be extremely useful. Like, for instance, with like Teocalli, if you need like, I don't know, +1 military supply, you can pretty much get Teocalli. If like, say the Aztecs get it, then yeah, I don't know, like you can also get like if I remember correctly, you can also get a cathedral, a church, once they patch that out in the next update, and then of course you get like a whole bunch of other pantheons, other tenants, if I remember correctly. Well, yeah. I mean, this is just great. This is great. And the -50% faith purchase cost. It's wonderful. Like I don't need to say any more about it. And like the unlocks great people purchasing in the classical era. It's just wonderful. Also, especially if you go down the traditional route, you automatically unlock the Grand Engineer when you complete the policy tree. Next up, we got the Tetraconch, +1 faith for every 3 citizens in the city, plus 20% religious pressure, and the additional 100% cities connected, 100% the religious pressure, add on to it towards cities connected by trade routes. So, essentially, you can just, well, it's not useful. Like, past the religious pressure is nice, but I won't say it's great when it's like being like pushed forward by a trade route, which seems to me is a pretty useless thing to use your trade routes, other than just like, here's food, here's production, boom, that's it. Yeah. And then with this is one slot for great work of music, whatever, and then of course you get +2 free culture. That's always nice. +3 too. Plus there's faith. If I remember correctly, it's +2, so it's add-ons to it. And +3 and another culture too. So in other words, a pretty good building. Pretty good replacement for the shrine, of course. And we have the cataphract. This is the Byzantine slope of fortifying benefits from defensive terrain. Okay, let's continue reading this. Has a combat strength in open terrain and assault cities better. Starts with cover 1. Now, usually, where's the unit? With the knight, it has 4 movement. With this, it has just 3. Like, Alright. It has cover 1, which it does help when you're trying to conquer cities with this unit. I'm not saying it's like, I'm not saying it automatically downgrades this unit, but I'm just saying like it kind of limits it on what it can actually do. Like with 4 movement, I could just like move over a tile, damage the city, move back, pillage with the 4th movement, and but like with the 3 movements, like kind of limiting on what the cataphract can actually do. I mean, don't get me wrong, it has better combat strength when it comes to conquering cities, and it does start with cover 1, so it's not. Look, if I'll be fine with the 3 movement if it just removed the city attack penalty in its entirety, okay? But still there with the -25% attack on city when attacking city-states or cities as a whole. And well, it's kind of lost on upgrade, so I guess that's something. But yeah, it's like, it's a decent unit, but a combat strength, I'm not saying it's definitely not terrible, but it's just not great either. It's just decent. So a decent unit, great building, and wonderful unique ability, which makes Byzantium into a I'm kind of feeling it. It's also S here. Screw it. I'm confident in placement, and let's move on. Next up, we got Dido Carthage, the Carthaginian Empire, +100 plus 100 gold, and 25 science when your all-time high tradable quantity of a luxury increases. And plus 5 experience to gold purchase units, both scaling with era, which, if I remember correctly. Okay, now go with the ages, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 5 times 7. If we get the calculator here, hold on, let me calculate this shit. 7 times 5, 35 XP, which makes up. If I remember correctly, it's that's over 1 promotion. Yeah, it's actually 1 promotion. So it's okay. The XP is useless, but like I do like the gold a lot. I do like the science. Both scaling with era plus 100 resource diversity on trade routes. Okay, that's whatever. Mediocre. Yeah, I guess that's mediocre unique ability. And then we have the Great Colton. Receive additional copy of all luxury resources around the city and free harbor and all the coastal cities. Wonderful. The lighthouse was great. The seaport's great, and just that the harbor is fairly useless. But you also have to build it in order to get to the seaport, which is a useful building. So with this, it's just it cuts away all the production you need to build a harbor before you build the seaports. So, and all bars gain 3 production, and all lighthouses gain plus 2 culture. Nice. Especially if you have like a sea empire. Gain additional plus 2 trade routes. Wonderful. Plus 2 unhappies in the city, and plus -1 in all other cities. Excuse me, that's also nice. And this is a wonderful unit. And the best part, it's in currency. Like without the charter company, you unlock it right here in the guild, which is like an era earlier than before. With this, it just not just scratch that. It's not even it just unlocks out like literally like an era earlier. So that's wonderful. That's literally wonderful to me. So yeah, great national wonder building, in my opinion, at least. Then we have the Quankareem. Yeah, the Shrine meme, okay. And ours is Zoc, okay. As you said, whatever, like, fucking whatever, bro. Like, who the fuck is conquering a city with the Quankareems in the classical age? Like, in all of my times of playing Civ 5 Fox Populi, I have never done that. I have well over like 1,000 hours. I think now I probably have like 1,400 hours, and I'm just like, okay, who cares? Who fucking cares? Like, flanking bonus, Zoc, ignore Zoc, yeah, well, fucking bullshit. Attacking, yeah, I'm gonna do a whole lot of damage with fucking 20 combat ability or 20 combat strength in. I guess the movement's nice, I guess. But like, who cares? Like, you're probably gonna build like 2 or 3 of these shits just to protect from the barbs, okay? That's what you're gonna fucking use it for. You're gonna build these shits to protect your trade routes. You know, maybe like send like a trade out to a city center to complete like a quest or some shit. That's what you're gonna fucking use these shitty ass Quankareems for. So, like I said, I don't think it's just shit. I just think theoretically, like in actual reality, you're not gonna use this shit to conquer like cities. You're not gonna use shit to conquer civilizations. You're just gonna build this shit just so you can defend your trade routes. That's it. That's fucking it. So, whatever as fuck, melee unit, wonderful national wonder replacement, and like decent. Mediocre to decent unique ability, which makes it into fuck it. I'd rather play you than Brazil. Fuck it. You're going upper C tier, C plus, whatever the fuck you call it. Moving on. Alright, next up, my favorite fucking Civ, boys. Alright. The Celts, Druidic Galore. Has a unique set of Pantheon beliefs that no one's can benefit from. True. Own cities with your Pantheon religion neither generate or nor receive foreign and religious influence, religious pressure, and generates plus through faith. Wonderful. That's all I need. Look. This is gonna be. This has always been a pet peeve of mine. I always have to waste like a mission, like faith, to buy like 2 missionaries and probably like Inquisition, just so like I can remove all the influence. So I know for a fact that Arabia is always trying to convert my cities to Islam. Then I always just like purchase these units in order to just like get rid of their influence. Because like, keep in mind, if you have like if I have like a city of like full of Christians, right? And then I have like a significant minorities amount of like Muslims or something. Like it actually decreases your happiness in that city. Like in places like lack of faith or like need more followers, like which counts as like a decrease in the happiness of that city. So essentially, you don't need to worry about that. You don't need to worry about that at all. Which maybe like irrelevant to some people, but for me that is important. That is like especially important for my play style, at least to me. And then like plus 3 faith per city. Yeah. That's always nice. That's always nice. Now I gotta show you the pantheons now. All right, so right here we got Bren, the sleeping giant, +1 production, gold, science, and culture from the palace. Wonderful. +4 production, gold, science, and culture in your capital city for every 5 followers of your pantheon owned cities. +25% city range combat strength, irrelevant. Units healed +10 HP per turn in own territory. Nice. +2 happiness from Gaelic halls. Wonderful. This is a wonderful for my personal city. This is a wonderful pantheon. Now next up, Gaelic, the Queen of Winter. +1 food and production for every 2 tundra tiles worked by the city. Plus food production, science, and culture from snow tiles with resources. +1 gold and culture from quarries and mines on resources. +5 tourism from Gaelic halls. Whatever, tourism is it's fine, but like these the food, the production for tundra, snow with resources, these are great. Like these are absolutely great if you play your cards correctly. Well, part of that, but it's also kind of relying on your environment. So right here, we got like Senunos, the horned stag. +1 food and gold from forests, +1 food and production from jungles, +1 science and culture from camps and plantations, +2 culture from the Gaelic hall. Now that's this is like better than the Queen of Winter in my opinion, since for the most part you're going to be relying on the forests and the jungles in the early parts of the game, especially in your like from like turn 1 to turn 50. You're probably going to rely on the forest and the jungle for like production or food, so that's real nice. And then like the camps and plantations is better. Like I'm pretty sure we'll get to like a pantheon later on that I use most often, but like the science and the culture from camps and plantations is nice. That is nice. Like it's not wonderful, but it is nice to have. So then we got Dagda, the Allfather, +5 +25% growth. And +1 happiness, and 12 production, gold, and culture when a citizen is born, scale the era, and +5 food from the Gaelic hall. Now, the 20% growth in the happiness is, well, the happiness is whatever, but the growth is the most important, especially when you consider the fact that if you keep growing to like more food tiles, more, especially if you spawn like either in the floodplain, if you spawn like a floodplains. If you keep growing, you're pretty much stack up a whole bunch of gold, culture, production, what have you. And like the +5 food is, it's decent, but like it's gonna come out like medieval or early medieval if I remember correctly. So it's fine. It's not great, but it's not bad either. And then we got Epona, the Grey Mare, +3 border growth, gain +8 food, production, science, and culture every time the city expands its borders naturally. So essentially, this is more useful than Dagda, in my opinion, solely because of the fact that with the border growth, it's pretty easy. Especially if you have like a bunch of culture, of course. If you're like going full on tradition, then like artistry, and then industry, it's like it's pretty easy to just grow your borders. Like it's very easy. So with this is like you can just skyrocket, especially when you just hard culture, hard writing guilds, amphitheaters, you name it. Okay, so that's great. Then you got Luke, the skilled one, +2 food, gold, science, and culture if the city has a specialist. And that's
And that's nice. That's nice. Like, I'm not saying it's terrible. That's nice. And a plus 10% production towards Wonders, plus 2 golden cores from World Wonders, plus 3 production from Kayla Call. So, this is a decent, got not much else to say. This is a decent Pantheon. Now, we got Mananon, the Son of the Sea. This is, well, I'll get to that later. Plus 3 food production and gold if the city is coastal. Plus 1 production for the water tiles, and plus gold from the fishing boats. Plus 2 great admiral points for Kayla Hall. Useless in my opinion. But Mananon is just like, dog. Like, if you just spawn in the sea, then Mananon is gonna be the path that you're gonna have to choose, in my opinion. Like, next up, we got Morrigan, the Harbinger. This is the God of War replacement for the Celts. So again, culture, gold culture, and golden age points for killing enemies equal to 200% of its strength. Gain 20 gold culture and golden age point with pillage improvements, scaling era, and plus 2 great general points from Kaylee Halls. Now, with the great generals, if the game goes long enough, you'll most likely, let's just say, you'll most likely get at least 2 or 3 great generals from passively, for the passive bonus from the Kaylee Hall. That's my experience. So if you get goes from ancient, if you build this in the starting immediately after you research the tech for the Kaylee Hall, I don't know, 5 turns later you get the Kaylee Hall, your capital Edinburgh, then passive going turn 200, you'll most likely get your first great general, then 70 turns later you get another great general just from passive growth from the Kelly Halls, from the great general point that you get from the Kelly Halls. Then soon after you're gonna get 3 generals. So at the very least, if you do little to no conquering, you're gonna have at the very least 3 great generals, which you can use whatever the fuck you want with it. I mean, you can go ahead and sell use the great general to sell a plot of land, buy at the Citadel system, or you can just settle the fuck out like a neighbor. I mean, you can do whatever you want with the great generals. It's just that, it's a solid war Pantheon. Nueda, Silverhand, plus 50% gold in science during We Love King's days, which can be decent. Plus 3 gold science and golden age point in your capital. Hold see for every unique luxury resource owned or imported. Nice. Plus 3 gold science and golden age point for active trade route to and or from the city, and plus gold from the Kelly Hall. So I mean, not else to say other than nice, I guess. All come out that I learned this. I'll just say this. This is the one Pantheon that I used the least. I remember using it twice. So, plus science for every 4 citizens in the city, plus science and culture from Great Works, plus 3 science and culture from the palace, plus 3 great science points and great hours in your capital, Holy City, and plus 5 science from the Kaylee Hall. I mean, I mean, this is not bad. Not bad, Pantheon, but it's kind of whatever. And then this is the Pantheon you're gonna use as Celts the most often, in my opinion. Plus 2 culture, plus 1 production, and gold for improved resources, which includes virtually from deer to lapis lazuli, or from deer to lapis to stone to furs, and then to iron and coal. All improved resources, strategic, luxuries, bonus, you name it. So this is overall the most useful Pantheon for the Celts, and also plus 5 golden age points from Kaylee Hall, which is nice. It does stack up, especially if you have a shit ton of city, which can be the case for all over Pantheons, but just that this is a whole lot better. This is the best bonus. This is the best bonus for the Kaylee Hall, in my opinion. Finally, we're done with the Pantheons. We got the Kaylee Hall itself. 150 culture when completed. It's nice and starts 50 turns off the We Love the King days. Automatically nice. 1 slot for great works of music. Okay. I mean, that's whatever. Plus, okay. And then 1 happiness. Alright. If you're trying to happiness max, then I guess it's nice. Culture. Very nice. Very wonderful. And then the plus 2 phase is it's very nice too. So. And then it also comes the
the add-on with the Pantheons that you chose. Depending on which one you chose, like, usually I choose Rhiannon, therefore I get +5 Golden Age points whenever I, for building the Kalia Hall in the first place, so. Yeah, it can be from just, like, a decent building to, like, a great building. Or, like, a wonderful building, which says right here in, like, the tooltip, so, yeah. Next, we got the Pictish Warrior, which is wonderful. Like, this is arguably better than the Jaguar, since to me at least, like, I find there's more use for the Pictish Warrior than is for the Jaguar, since it excels at hill, tundra, and snow, which you might not spawn in a tundra or snow, but you're definitely gonna spawn to some extent with hills, with a shit ton of hills, no doubt about it. Doubles your speed in hills too. Digital combat strength. These tiles are featureless, which means just like fly hills. Literally, like no features, no nothing, just hills. And consumes no movement and pillaging. Nice in my opinion, especially like if it's like a competitive siege, like when you're like sieging like a capital or something, like the archer in the city is like shooting at you, then you're gonna have to pillage, which costs no movement whatsoever, and gains 200% of the opponent's combat strength as faith, which if you just kill a bunch of bars with these units, or just a bunch of like helpless Sibs units, your chances are you're gonna be the first person in the entire game or the entire campaign to get a religion, which is like game changing. If you just focus on that, like the killing thing. So we got the Highlanders right here, where you get the abilities and stuff. Then the normal cost app to pillage is available with Discovery of Mining earlier than even the Spearmen, which, if I remember correctly, you get the prereqs in bronze working. So you don't have to go down. You don't have to like research 2 tags. You just gotta research 1 tag in order to get the Pictish Warrior, which is the replacement, which is slightly stronger than the Spearman, which whatever, but I think it's better than the Spearman. I think it's like comparable, if not better, than the Jaguar, but anyhow, this is a good unit. Decent to wonderful building, and then before I show you the Pantheons. So I personally believe this is a wonderful, unique ability, especially the generate or not receive foreign religious pressure, which I would say the generate part is unfortunate, but hey, I'll take it. I'll take it in my opinion, since the foreign religious pressure can be asinine, especially if there's like a bunch of Sibs with like the same religion except for you, which you're gonna have to defend from and use some of your faith on like missionaries, the Inquisitions, just to clear them out, so you don't get the unhappiness from having your major religion being a minority in their own city. So, yeah. With that being said, Celts will go S tier. S tier. But I will say they're comparable with Byzantium. I will say the Aztecs are slightly better. And the Babylonians are of course better than the Celts. The science is science. You're gonna get science pretty easy with Babylon. But with the Celts, I think, in my opinion, they're extremely good. And fuck it. I might put them on first and foremost in the S tier. But I might change it, I might not, but yeah, let's move on. Next up, last for today, I'm a bit tired. Wuxi Tong, Mandate Heaven, for any great works or gaining cities grants, 5 turns of We Love the Emperor's Day and permanent +2 food in all cities, which is great, but it does climb by 50% error change. So, what it essentially means is you just have to go full tradition. You have to go full tradition, since it gives you automatically a
a special slot for production, for writers, for I believe artists too. So you have to just fully concentrate on getting great works, getting like great peoples. Well, getting great works for China, but in general, you're getting the great workers, great engineers too. So I guess that's pretty good. Um, the 50% food decline is atrocious. It's atrocious. It's just atrocious in my opinion. So it just lowers even further. And then cut part of that out. Now, if I remember correctly, I think it's you get the part of the gaining city state by conquering. If I remember correctly. Yeah, if I remember correctly, it's either you settle a city or you conquer one. I can't. It sounds. Hold on. Maybe if I. Yeah, I believe it's just like settling or conquering cities or something. But anyhow, this is like a situationally great unique ability. Well, overall, just decent at least. And we have the Sihiwan. Can only build on flat lands, unfortunately, adjacent to a city or next to two other cities. Unfortunately, too. +1 production gold and science when worked by a city during We Love the Emperor's Day, which the base yield is +1 production, +1 gold, +1 science, which the Emperor's Day can add up to 2 food or 2 production, 2 gold, and 2 science too. So, and also this does come out at currency, which it's in the classical era, so you shouldn't have too much to worry about getting Sehiwan. And if I remember correctly, preferably you want to build this in a grassland tile, in a flat grasslands. Now, plains is fine, but preferably you'll have, with the grasslands, you have the food. You have like a citizen using up their time and their energy to fucking work this tile. So that'll compensate for like, hopefully, the production, science, and gold. 2, if you get a lump, We Love the Emperor's Day, which can be great in the early game. In the late game, it's like with the architecture, electricity, the civil services. What civil services part is like one culture. It's like, okay, whatever, bro, whatever, fuck off. But with the architecture and the electricity, it can be good, situationally good in my opinion. But yeah, it's just decent improvement, I guess. And then we got the Chukunu. Now, if I remember correctly, the Chukunu was in the vanilla version was supposed to have weaker combat strength, but also can attack twice. Now it's like in city defense and dealing splash damage, which the splash damage is good. Splash damage is always good, especially on your artilleries or God forbid on your artillery trucks in the late game, at least. If you do upgrade these units long enough. I mean, for the most part, yeah, these are decent also. So I got nothing else to say. Decent unit, decent improvement, and like decent to good unique ability. So with all that being said, China goes into low A. Yeah. That's all I gotta do for the day. I'll come back later. So yeah, I think that's all I have to really do for today. Cut that out, please. Cut that out. Cut that fucking out. So yeah, I'm gonna make a part 2 pretty soon, right after this, as soon as I get done editing this video. If you guys enjoyed the part 1, it's gonna take a while to finish this stuff, but whatever. But if you like the video, please like. If you really love it so much, then please subscribe. But in other words, if you want to comment, go ahead and comment, complain about how I fucked up somewhere, like how my stuttering keep holding me back, what have you not. But anyways, crowning here, signing out, I guess.